This episode of the King's Hall podcast is brought to you by Mount Athos, the Dodd Law Firm, and Curios Capital. Well, welcome to this episode of the King's Hall podcast. I'm Eric Kahn, joined by two unusually handsome hosts. Co-hosts, if you will.
Wow.
Pastor Ben Garrett.
Hello. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
You're one of the Haunted Cosmos guys.
Indeed.
But also the author of a new book.
That's right.
I almost said the wrong title.
You did. Get that smirk on your face.
Ben, just tell us a little bit about this fantastic book that you just wrote.
This new book is called Killing Lust, Fighting for Pornography.
That's not the title.
That's actually not the title.
This stays in.
The title is, let's try again, Killing Lust, Fighting for Purity in a Pornographic Age. Let's see how I got there.
I feel like that kind of changes things.
It does a little bit. Instead of being a promotion of pornography, it's not that. It's actually the opposite. It's a book about practical and spiritual equipment that men and women actually can use to mortify the sin of lust, and also that parents can use. It's got a lot of resources in there for parents. It's got homework. It's basically meant to be a resource that pastors and individuals can use with one another in counseling as they counsel through lust of all forms, but especially sexual lust and the use of pornography.
Yeah, very good. And that's open for pre-orders.
That's right. It'll be shipping out around July 6th, I believe, but you can order it right now at newchristendompress.com/killinglust.
Very cool. Well, great work. I've read it.
Thanks.
Another co-host, Kevin Griffin, Pastor Kevin Griffin, you've read the book.
I have read the book. It's excellent.
You've read it a couple times.
I've read it, quite a few times. It really is excellent, though, Ben. You did a great job. Really proud of you.
Thanks. It was a lot of fun. Kevin Michael Griffin. Right here, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's make sure. We found out that our two Kevins are also both Kevin Michaels.
Yeah, like I've worked with these men for years.
Yeah.
And it just recently came up.
Yeah.
Did you know?
No.
You didn't know?
I had no idea.
Caleb didn't know either.
Yeah.
Really?
Crazy.
That is
I
crazy.
don't know what the chances of that are, but it's
Low.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Is your middle name Michael?
My middle name is Scott.
Scott Stotts.
That's right. My initials are BS. And then Garrett.
Oh, that's good. Kevin, you also read another book that we've got launched. People can purchase this now, but that's by Pastor Adam Madden, who gave a great talk at the conference.
It was awesome.
Indeed.
But I guess for people who are wondering about that book, what's it about? Who would find it useful?
Yeah, I think in particular, the young men would find it particularly helpful. It's about the productive household. And really, one of the things that I noticed, especially after the talk, is just the sheer amount of young men who were going up to Adam and just wanting to pick his brain. And I think the book, one of my favorite things about it is, and I told Adam this, is that when you read his book, you get to meet the man. It really is like if you talk to Adam. That is his book.
Oh, yeah.
It is just Adam Madden. And it's very pastoral. He's a great, kind man. And the amount of people, young men that went up to talk to him after the conference was really cool. But it's just about the productive household. It's about seizing more opportunities, as much time as you possibly can with your people. What's the phrase?
He talks about content and context.
Content and context.
And sort of like an extrapolation of Deuteronomy 6, but you actually have to be with your people in order to be able to fulfill that. So we talk about a lot of ways that you can do business in such a way that it's an outflow of the productive household, which, I think will be really helpful for young men, particularly as they're, getting set out to establish a godly home and think through what the problem he talks about is like fragmentation. So I think that will be really good. Ben, I want to transition to you because one of the best parts of the conference, we'll get into that today, but the What, like broadcast announcing? Is that basically what you were doing?
The live field, sideline announcing of the new Christendom games.
First of all, I don't know who gave you guys like the responsibility and permission to do that.
I think it was maybe you.
Genius. No, it wasn't me, actually. I forget how they came up last year, but
I think it was just we didn't have the space for it last year. It was a really cool space, just wouldn't support that. But this year, Tate got a new venue and they had like a whole PA system. They were like, hey, it's yours if you want to use it. Like you rented the whole thing.
Yeah. And there were like on-field camera guys.
Oh, yeah. That guy was killing it, too. Like Steven Spielberg, give him a call. He was crushing. But then they gave Brian and I microphones, and the microphones could be heard by everyone, not only in the stadium, but like in the neighborhood that was around the stadium.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had a really good time. Really good time.
My favorite part was you would use a metaphor, and I could clearly tell that you weren't sure where the metaphor was going to go.
That is true.
How many times do you compare people to like a motorcycle?
Oh, well, this one guy's name was Harley.
Oh.
So I kept his Harley Quinn Davidson is what I called him. And I was like, this guy, you got to work in every Steel Horse reference. I wanted to get more into John Bon Jovi, but I thought that might be too deep of a cut, so I avoided that. But Harley had a great attitude about it. Shout out Harley. He was really cool.
Yeah, and we had great sponsors.
We did.
Mount Athos, their guys were out.
That's right. Actually, we're giving some pre-workout to the guys.
Really?
So we have them to thank for the incredible performance that we saw.
I don't think their guys weren't competing this year, but last year they did. And some stallions.
Oh, man. You want to talk about a pair of tree trunk thighs on Giovanni?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And then Desmond, he looks like the Italian Superman.
I know.
Yeah. I always said we passed both of them when we were doing the golf scramble. Ethan and I passed them. And he was like, which one's which? And I was like, oh, Desmond is the handsome one. Except I didn't say handsome. I said hot. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But two specimens, they were there.
Yep.
Mount Athos. We also had Kyros Capital.
Kyrios.
Our guy, Steven, doing great work.
Great guys. And then we also had the Dodd Law Firm. Is that right?
Yeah.
Loved getting to know Michael Dodd.
Yeah. Played golf with him.
Played golf. He was dressed like Jason Day.
And the thing is, he was good.
He is good. He's a
very
lawyer.
Yeah. I mean,
I feel like that's part of the job.
Yeah.
You know?
But also like I think he's in the Carolinas or something, but like they have so many beautiful courses.
They do.
This is why Kevin Griffin is so good at golf, by the way. Florida. That's
Florida
where you learned you cut your teeth.
If only that was true, Eric. If
Florida
only
is
that
kind of
was
like
true.
a mecca, though, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, but those sponsors really helped make the games were really, really great this year.
Yeah.
Like, even better than last year, and couldn't have done it without those sponsors. So just shout out to those guys. Links are in the description of this episode for how you can support them. We would ask that you go follow those links, even if you don't think there's anything for you there. Check out what they're doing, pray for their work, and see if there's a way that you can become a patron of theirs, because you won't regret it. If you have a need that they can fulfill, these guys will deliver.
Yeah, and all of our sponsors, great job with the conference. Couldn't do the work without them. I want to get into that now. We're sort of doing a recap. We've had the week to kind of think about, what was good, what were the things that we really appreciated most. There's a lot of good stuff to talk about. But Kevin, maybe I'll start with you. Just what are some of the highlights in your mind from the conference? Getting to see, we had, I think it was over 1,500 people this year.
Yeah.
We started 4 years ago with like 200 people in the church.
If that.
And that was great, but like it's changed so much.
It has. I think one of my favorite things, I have two favorites. But right off the bat, speaking about the size of it, is just seeing the sheer amount of families that we had, which I thought was awesome. Mm-hmm. Like all the kids, people were really excited to bring their wives out that maybe came last year and just came just themselves. So to bring out all the families, that was a blast. Everyone, the vibes were high. Really enjoyed that. And then I would say the other big one for me was just, we had really put out the call for our people for hospitality, like just to really press into this weekend. And the church just showed up big time. It was such a blast. They put in so much hard work, couldn't have done it without them, and got so many comments just about the kindness of our people, which is always, just makes you excited.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really cool too, because you look at how the whole event went. Everybody was talking about it. It's nice to actually, you kind of hear about people online, maybe you listen to a podcast, but then you get here and the stuff is real. Like the community is actually a thriving community. Ben, for your part, we did a pastor's panel. You did.
Yeah.
With us.
Kind of fielded questions.
It's funny that came about kind of last minute because we had to rearrange some stuff, but it may be one of my favorite parts.
I heard that from a lot of people. The pastor's panel ended up being, in terms of the conference talks and sessions that were like in the venue, not just hanging out, that was the highlight for them. Getting to hear, and I think it was for me too, because it allowed us to get out of podcast land and like this niche topical stuff that we do a lot that's oftentimes motivated by what we're seeing online, like what's in the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
And it allowed us instead to show really what I think I can say is our true passion, which is pastoral ministry and being able to speak truth into people's lives and situations. The people asked really great questions, like very good pastoral questions about church life and family life and their own personal devotions and holiness. And I think that it was also really important, even for our people, to see all of the pastors all of their pastors up there interacting like that, because it's actually not that frequent that we get all of the session together, fielding questions and then answering at the same time. And I've heard from multiple of our own members that it was like, no, it just inspired a lot of confidence. It made me feel more secure in where I'm going to church.
Yeah, Kevin, there was a lot of questions we answered one-on-one as well.
Oh, yeah.
I guess if you would just speak to kind of the flavor of those, did it surprise you? I know for my part, I thought, wow, it seems like a lot of the church actually not a lot of pastoring is going on. And it was a neat opportunity to talk to guys, a lot of young guys, asking about life direction.
Yeah.
Did you see that? What was kind of your breakdown of that?
Oh, definitely. It's so crystal clear. And this has happened every conference, but it seems to even be a growing thing where the young guys, the young guys especially, but there was just such an age range this year, I would say. But the young guys, the amount of conversations that were actually tearful conversations. Yeah. I mean, heartfelt, like these guys are just so touched that a pastor, like an older man, was just willing to tell them just the truth, to give them some direction and guidance. And I was so encouraged by those conversations, because there's always the feeling that they're just gonna be so obsessed about one particular topic or another. You know, King's Hall, you guys do a great job of touching all these cultural issues and things, and you think that that's going to be what everyone comes for and that, you know, wants to ask those questions. But more often than not, all the questions are just like men who just are looking for a father and good pastoral care. And when they receive it, I mean, genuinely, I'm not kidding when I say that, like, I know we all had them where guys left in tears. Yeah. And encourage and like, thank you so much. I needed to hear that. I appreciate you being willing to just be honest with me. And I feel like I have a good new direction.
Yeah. I mean, talk about the zeal that these men are coming to the event with, that, I mean like real zeal for real things. Yes. They're very important and weighty for their own lives.
And it wasn't like, I didn't feel like it was a lot of like, tell me about the post-war consensus. No. Or it was all like personal pastoral issues.
Oh yeah. And they're willing to come to you and ask the question, which is already kind of a daunting thing, right? To just go to someone you've never met before, except seeing them on stage and say like, hey man, here's what I really want, or here's what I'm dealing with. Can you offer anything for me? But then to hear the honest pastoral answer that sometimes pushes back, but is always trying to encourage them to virtue, and for them to have the humility to take it and say, man, thank you so much. Because it means that they rightly understand that, that being told something that maybe they don't even want to hear right then and there doesn't mean that it's not coming from a place of love, but actually it is a display of courtesy that you're willing to tell this person, this is what I honestly think. And, you know, you can take it for what it's worth, but this is it. And they're willing to hear it. They're willing to be young men, as young men should be, and say, okay, you're probably right, and then we've already heard feedback after the conference about how multiple young men are actually taking practical, measurable steps in their lives to act on that counsel. So it's a weighty thing, but it was really encouraging for us to see that kind of humility and zeal come together in the young men.
Yeah, and speaking to zeal, Kevin, we had a couple guys in knights battle garb, and it was cool.
Oh,
they actually made us a Crusader helmet. I made Dan Burkholder put it on, so I have a photo of that. And I sent it to the guy who made it, and it was funny because he was like, he must be a large man because that's a large helmet, and it does not look big on him. Because Dan he's got to be what, like 6'4"?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
To my Hobbit size, he looks like about 8 feet tall. But I was like, that was really cool.
Yeah.
So just seeing sort of like different vibes, different people. We also had talks, which I thought were really good. We can talk about some of that. It's an interesting conference because it's not really centered on the talks. I hope we provide good content. I think we do. But the fellowship aspect that most people are looking for, the picnic on Sunday, maybe my favorite part.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Just having our people out, we're hospitality, sharing food with people. And the vibes were so high that day.
Oh, yeah.
People were like, this is crazy. It's like living in another world.
Yes.
You get to experience that. So yeah,
No, it's funny because, you say like the vibes are really high, and they were. It was one of the highlights for me for sure. But it's funny because going into it, I was more so thinking like, I can't wait to go home and lay down. And if I really had it my way, I might not be going to this picnic right now.
Yeah.
But it's a testament to the means of grace, the communion of the saints, just simple communion with brothers and sisters in Christ and how it enlivens you. And it was awesome. Like just genuinely a fun time.
Yeah.
We had folks, we had the kids doing their battle over on the lawn. We had folks playing cornhole and chess and
the Knights did tell me, by the way, they were like, the kids were like whacking us good. and they even said they were finding the weak spots in the armor, like behind our legs and attacking there.
Nice.
Like they knew what to do.
Yeah. Good kids. Smart kids.
Smart kids. That was really cool. Kevin, let's talk about the talks. I'm trying to think. Well, Brian went first. He kind of set the tone with the war for normal. I guess in your retelling of it, what is the war for normal? I know you weren't necessarily part of the planning committee, but like the elders knew we were doing the war for normal.
Yeah.
Why that? Why is that so important? There's a lot of, as you mentioned, there's a lot of political issues going on, but we chose to focus there and kind of your take on why.
Yeah. It's the big focus here at the church. And the more people you talk to, I think the more you realize all the topics that you guys pick up all the time, the political stuff, the cultural stuff, it's so helpful.
Yeah.
It's absolutely necessary to get right. But just being normal people, like if we can't do that, to look ahead at Brian's sermon, he preached on love. And if we cannot love well, all the rest of it doesn't matter. And so genuinely just being normal people, that looks like being great husbands, being great wives, raising your children up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. These just normal, simple, faithful things we have to master. And if we don't, none of the rest of it matters. And we're not going to get the outcomes that we're looking for. So yeah, Brian kicked it off in an incredible fashion and great and encouraging talk. It was a
classic Sauvé move. Like absolutely nail it and give people a lot to chew on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember Ben, especially like he was talking about magical thinking. It's really easy to have all these concepts floating in the ether. But yeah, just your thoughts on that. Like, why is it important that we ground things and like, what do we actually have to do? And what is actually practical for our people?
Yeah. I was thinking about, for a lot of the days leading up to it and then during the conference, if I had to give like the one sentence answer to somebody, I'm like, what do you mean by normal? It would just be, it's the peaceful and quiet life that's godly and dignified in every way. Like that's the normal thing,
Yeah.
And I think that Brian was really touching on that kind of idea when he's talking about this magical thinking of, You have these theories in your head and you have these goals and you have these dreams, and like, fine, I guess, if you do the right thing with them.
Yeah.
And how do you take the first step in doing the right thing with them? Well, it's by ordering your own soul to the true North Star of Christ, kind of singing your life in the key of Christ. And then also, by extension, ordering your home to the ordinary duties that you have. Like Brian has been saying this a lot lately, but you have to learn to love what must be done and not try to think of it as something that you have to manage or even work around if you get an opportunity. Like the ordinary duties of loving your wife and kids, of disciplining your children, of focusing on education in the home, family worship, provision, however you can make it happen. These are actually the great works that God set before us to do. And if we see them that way as great works, then we will actually achieve the most normal life that we could in our day and age and context. And I thought that was one of the most helpful points in the entire weekend was like, hey, ditch the magical thinking and just learn to love what must be done. Do the thing that's in front of you with faith and ask the Lord to give you the utmost joy in that, not in like playing around on the clouds.
Yeah, it's interesting, Kevin, because a lot of, the perceptions outside of Ogden can be one thing. But as you mentioned, we're talking about parenting, households, family worship. I told you one of the things I enjoyed was seeing your kids and wives just at the conference. They also enjoyed it. You don't have to be 30 years old to benefit from it.
No. Yeah, absolutely not. This is the second year in a row now I've gotten to bring my oldest daughter, and she comes with me for the entire time. And she still talks about Stephen Wolf's talk from last year on
the
home
talk.
Oh
that
yeah,
was so good.
Yeah, that's a constant talking point. And she just loves the people. She loves being there. She's gotten to know people's kids, and so she gets to say hi, see friends. They had their St. Brendan's school booth, and so they were going around handing out some merch. And
they were so sweet.
They were cute. Yeah. Absolutely not. It's a family affair. It really is, and it's just such an encouraging time. It's cool to even see your boys like as they're getting older and being more involved,
getting to work the booth and ship some books. And I think one of the things I love is it brings our community together, where everybody's legitimately proud to be a part of the work.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And as your kids grow older, God willing, they have the same level of excitement.
Yeah, it was funny. We did like the Live Haunted Cosmos thing, and my kids have listened to a couple episodes, but I don't think they get that it's Dad.
Right.
They talk all the time about Brian, but they never like connect the dots.
Are they listening or watching?
They're listening.
Yeah. So
So I get that, but that was the first live show that especially Abner, my oldest, could really appreciate.
Yeah.
And I went home that night and was able to get home in time to like say goodnight and actually tuck them in. And Ambrose and Abner both were like, Dad, I want to tell you a story tonight. Can I tell you a story? And they were like, and I want to sound like you. Like it was the first time they'd seen it. And my wife was telling me that was the most locked in that they were all weekend. They were like so pleased that Dad was up there.
I love the photo of them sitting on the couch with you.
Oh yeah.
That's just a cool experience.
Apparently, like I just called him up because you don't see him for 5 days.
Yeah.
And they were there. I was like, oh, come on, like just get close to me. And one of the film guys, old Matt, was like, do y'all see what's happening right now? There are children on the stage with Ben. Get the cameras rolling. So he did me a solid with that one.
Yeah, that's really cool. Kevin, I want to ask you, as you think about what you hope people will take home and do from the conference, what comes to mind in terms of building key takeaways for, and probably for most of the people who were there, what are they going to need to think through?
Yeah, man, the thing that we just kept talking on over and over and over again, whether it was in the pastor's panel, whether it was in questions afterwards, is being faithful with the little things.
Yeah.
Being faithful with the little things. We have to be masters at it or we're just going to fail. And so I think people are just getting fired up about that. Like, oh, you mean I can go home and do this like right now? I can do this right now. We had several young men where the takeaway for them was, wow, I actually need to go home and apologize to my father, who I've been fairly disrespectful to in my cage stageness of all of these issues.
Yeah, red pill issues.
I think it was just that. That's not fancy. That's not flashy. And I think that's the glory of it, is that everyone knew that leaving that conference, I know exactly what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
One of the things that I liked was there was that very clear call to action on the little things. And again, like, you can do this today. It's not some massive time investment where you're not going to start seeing fruit for years. Like, you can do this today and your life will get better today. But there was still, especially for parents of young kids like myself, a lot to chew on for ordering your life now so that in the future you see more, actually like more normal in your children and their children. Like your talk, I think, was really good for that, because it got me thinking a lot. It was on the longhouse, how to escape the abnormal longhouse. And the thing that I loved about it was the emphasis of the talk was not, look at all these Jews that gave us feminism, although they did. And like, we should hate that, right? But the emphasis was, so how do we build up our daughters, especially, to be normal, godly women? Like, what do we need to cultivate? How do we need to be coaching them? How do we encourage them so that we don't let them fall into this poisonous trap, but we instead give them the life of normalcy and godliness and beauty? So it got me thinking a lot about, like, what am I going to do for my daughter to try to raise her into a normal woman? And I thought that was great.
Yeah, that was something Kevin and I were talking about afterwards, was just how different it will be for our girls to hear talks like that versus like proto-feminist, whatever. You know, because you know, that's a good thing that they're actually thinking through it at a young age.
Yeah. Didn't Nora say, like, that was my favorite talk? Was Pastor Khan's.
She loved your talk.
So base.
This is my favorite thing. So like the week prior, like I preached, but it's like the little girls in the church will like bring me dessert the next week. And I'm just like, I am a sucker.
It's true.
Like I just melt and I'm like, they're the best. But yeah, that is part of the reason, like, why are we talking about the longhouse? It's actually thinking forward looking. You know, I have a granddaughter now.
Yeah.
And so we were like, what kind of world are we going to leave them? And are we going to call them into, you know, like Christian education? Are we going to call them into their vocation as godly women? We're not going to push the boss babe culture. We're not trying to push them away from the home. We want to encourage motherhood, all those good things. But yeah, Kevin, I just want to get your thoughts on that. Like, why is that so important in creating a new normal for our people, where like they're going to hear about feminism, our girls will, and they're never going to be like, wow, that's so weird. They're going to think like boss babes are weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Can you imagine, like, my daughter's 11 and Nora, she's, oh my word.
She is literally like an angel.
She is like the sweetest little girl.
It's insane.
I know.
I love her so much. And this is what we were talking about, is she listened to your talk on this and she walks away and she goes, man, isn't being a woman wonderful?
Isn't that amazing?
Like, it's incredible. It's such a glory. It filled her with zeal to press into to being what God has created her to be. And you see it. She goes home. She's so good with her siblings. You know, she wanted to make she like put in all this work to pack us lunches.
Oh, like for the conference?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. And get all the, you know, get all the snacks and have all the, she brought coloring books in case she saw her friends.
Oh my goodness.
And it's just,
that is like the sweet, like the most thoughtful.
I know.
And it's weird too, because so many people think like, oh, the women in Ogden they must be so oppressed. I've never seen a more joyful group of women.
Oh yeah.
Truly. Yeah.
I mean, there was even, we have a chiropractor lady in the church, and right before I gave my talk, she came backstage and she was like, Pastor Khan, I've been praying for you. Can I give you an adjustment right now before you go up? So I got like an adjustment, And she's like, the Lord be with you, be strong and courageous. And I was like, our women are simply the best.
Yeah.
They really are.
And you think about that when you go up there and you get to a line in the notes or whatever, and you're like, ah. And then you think of, well, old Mrs. Wybrew.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I need to say it. And I need to say it like I mean it.
Yes. Yeah. Like go get them. Be confident.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious, other talks that resonated with you guys. Andrew Isker was there. He gave a great talk.
He did.
Really excited. He's got a book upcoming, The Seed of Abraham. Who are the people of God? That's going to be great. So he talked a little bit about that. But Ben, kind of that topic. Why is it important? And like, what'd you take away from it?
I definitely thought that it was maybe like Isker in top form.
Yes.
He was in the pocket and was really enjoying himself, but in a way that was not distracting from the content.
No.
The thing, again, like this was the theme for me. A lot of the titles of the talk, like The Longhouse and Zionism, and you could read those titles and think, oh, this is them railing on their enemies, and that's it. And it's not. And that includes Isker's talk on Zionism. It was we have to make eye contact with what we have let infiltrate our country.
Yeah.
And what's infiltrated it is this massive amount of egalitarianism and cultural Marxism. And yeah, we trace back to the source and we can find the source and analyze that. But more importantly, how do we just actually fight against it with our own positive economy of holiness? And that was what I really loved about Andrew. It was a call up. I feel like all the talks were this way, but his also was a call up to, but shouldn't we want better than that? And then here's the good news. You can have better than that right now. Notice it, see it for what it is, make sure you understand where it comes from so that you don't let it infiltrate your own house. But then here's the positive vision. Go pursue the positive vision.
I love that, the ability to talk about pressing cultural issues.
Yeah.
But to be positive and pastoral. Like if I had to describe the conference in any way, it was very pastoral to me. Yeah. Stephen Wolf is not a pastor. Actually, this is a funny side note. He said, Ben, don't call me Dr. Wolf. So Ben introduces him and he says, okay, he asked me not to call him Dr. Wolf. So ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Wolf, PhD.
He's told me for 2 years in a row now, he's like, I really hate it when you call me doctor. And I'm like, all right, I promise I'll stop. So that was
you stopped.
Yeah.
But even his talk was about, reestablishing norms. Like, again, the new normal, how does this come to pass? Way more philosophical. But again, I still love that your daughter, who's 11, found even that talk very, very helpful.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's something that it does. Stephen, for me, he challenges me to think more deeply.
Yeah.
And Ben, maybe you could speak to this, but it is philosophical. But we do that even in the church. Like you're going through Plato's Republic. We want guys to stretch their legs a little bit. Why is that kind of thing important to have a change of pace where you got pastoral, but then maybe, hey, something more philosophical, it's going to challenge your thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I think why would you listen to and enjoy a talk like Stephen's? And we all did. And, everybody did. Yeah. He has a very unique pathos that he doesn't act like someone he's not. He doesn't act like Brian. He's not Brian. But without a shadow of a doubt, with every single word he says, that guy believes this down to the very bottom. He believes what he's saying. And he sandwiches it between these positive visions, but then he gets into the weeds of what I like to say is the fertile soil of cognitive power. So why do you read, period? But then why do you read or listen to philosophy? It's to gain cognitive power. And classically, like in antiquity, the reason that you want cognitive power is not so that you can just impress people. It's actually far from that. It's so that you can understand wisdom in the good life. It's so that you can understand goodness in itself, down to its essence. And what I like about Stephen's talk is it's really similar to Aristotle and the Republic in a lot of ways, in that it takes these big abstract ideas and it takes them out of the clouds, and then it says, so what is this in your own soul? If you want to create a normal life, first of all, what is normal? And you do all that work. But then he brings it back to so if you want to create a normal life, which is the peaceful and quiet life, godly and dignified in every way, and you want to see that outside of you, you can't expect to see it outside of you if it is not true inside of you. And so the cognitive power is actually meant to be used as a disciplinary tool on your own heart and soul. And that's one of the things I appreciate most about Stephen is he's able to communicate that to an audience, oftentimes without even saying, because he's not a pastor. So he's not saying like, and here's an illustration to help you understand that. But you nonetheless get, like, just because he's a righteous man, you nonetheless get the point where he's telling you implicitly, and you have to do this for yourself or else it's going to be fruitless.
Yeah.
It's the golden rule. Like, you love other people the way that you love yourself. How do you love yourself? How do we understand that? And one of the ways we understand that is this study of philosophy to gain wisdom so that we can discipline ourselves.
Yeah, it was interesting too, Kevin, because it gets back to a lot of the things that create a normal Christian culture. Think of our community. They're not necessarily laws, just that. But it's like codes of behavior, the way we treat each other. You think about Ogden, you think about the refuge culture. What are some of the things that you think of that are like part of the norming of who our people are? And while you're thinking about that, I was just, like Ethan, Pastor Sen. To me, this is so funny. Ethan shows up and he is like ostrich boots, cowboy boots. Like there's a style to Ethan.
Yeah.
But it's somehow like rubbed off on all of us. Like nobody ever had a meeting where they were like, you will wear cowboy boots.
Yeah.
But then everybody after a while is like, Ben tried actually, but before I think we caught on to
Goes to show how little gravitas
no.
I had, at least at the time.
It just took some warming up too. Ben was like, cowboy boots are cool. And I was like, that's so stupid. But then he started to wear them. Other guys did. Ethan did. And I was like, I'm not going to say anything, but there will be signs. Like I will have ostrich boots by the end of this. And now everybody does.
Well, except
for Kevin.
Kevin Michael Griffin is the last domino to fall.
One important thing to know about Kevin.
Okay. This could go a lot of ways.
You're from Florida. You have a bizarre thing about you. Like even right now, you are barefooted in the studio.
That is a fact. Yeah. But that's not weird.
It's got a hippie vibe to it.
Yeah. It's,
And
come on.
You don't have cowboy boots that you wear.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Well, I mean, I have gigantic feet for one. So I don't even know if they make them that size.
Oh, they make them that size.
Are we sure?
Oh yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Dude, we'll get you a custom made.
Okay. We'll look into it. For the guys, we'll look into it.
Here's the other thing you need to know about Kevin Michael Griffin. Oh boy. And I mean this in the best way.
Oh boy.
But he is a man of principle. And that means that when he settles his mind on something, he's not going to move.
That is true.
Some might call that stubbornness. I'm not calling it that.
Oh, it's stubbornness. I like to say it's stubbornness though in used for good and not ill. Sometimes.
Whatever.
This is actually my favorite thing. People don't know this, but you guys share an office. And I will pass by or sit in my office and I hear like what sounds like a fierce debate. I'm like, what is going on? And you're having debates about food, usually.
Kevin and I disagree a lot on food.
I mean, you have some atrocious takes on food for sure. Like un-American not to like ice cream.
Someone say the worst food takes.
Oh no!
Come on.
They're the worst.
Oh yeah, extreme
guy.
I mean, we've had some
honest.
Hold on.
We've had some of the finest scotch known to planet Earth.
That was a compliment that I said, the mustard and pickles thing.
This tastes like mustard and pickles.
Who doesn't like mustard and pickles?
Okay.
It's not that we don't like them. It's that they literally know scotch tastes like
Here's
that.
what really bothers me about that. All right, listen. You'll go to you'll watch sommeliers or whatever on TV or YouTube, and they're like, this wine, it smells like my grandmother's wedding dress that has been in her closet for 50 years.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, what a profound insight from the sommelier. And then I was like, wow, I'm getting notes of pickle.
When a sherry cask scotch tastes like mustard and pickles.
Here's what I would like to say.
Maybe you have a broken olfactory system.
I think that maybe we should go there before we start calling it like a moral issue, which is what's been heavily implied.
It could be moral.
Well, yeah.
I smelt it. I was like, man, this is a pickle. Like this smells like a jar of dill pickles. And it was great.
Yeah, normally I would say you can't be wrong about scotch tasting.
I
haven't seen most people be wrong.
I didn't get invited back.
We will give Ben like Jack Daniels on the side.
Yeah.
But
Jack
even this is part of our culture. Kevin, I want to ask you, Cowboy boots, that's one of them. But also like the way women carry themselves and the way they dress themselves and the way that they're sweet to their husbands. There's so many things that you can't just codify in law.
Yeah.
But why is that important as you think about like our culture, that people have thought at least a little bit about those norms and how they shape a people?
Mm-hmm. I think a big thing is like when people show up here, they have an idea of what it's going to be like. It's like they think it is sometimes just a look, a vibe. It's just, they have to act a certain way and all of those things. And there's some truth to all of those things. But really when they get here and they start to get to know people, they just see like, well, these people, though imperfect, are seriously pursuing virtue. Mm-hmm. And they are really excited to see other people succeeding as well, repenting of sin, of starting to buy the dress where maybe it's been a lot, maybe they've only ever worn pants and but even
t-shirts. On that one, like we don't tell people, no, you must wear dresses.
No,
it's like people see the glory and then they just start doing it.
Yeah,
And
I think some of that, like a lot of that is caught.
Yeah,
right?
Mm-hmm. And imitation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's the customary law.
Yes, and I think the most attractive thing is not just the look of it; it's the heart of it.
Yeah,
they're like, oh well, these ladies are really sweet, and this is the way they dress. That's really beautiful. There's something particularly beautiful about that. That's not like it goes much beyond just the outward appearance. It really is like these ladies have really kind hearts.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I want kindness like to come out of my lips like it does with that woman's. Mm-hmm. That's a huge encouragement. And I think the aesthetic plays into that. Absolutely. The guys will come in and maybe they're a little disheveled, or they come in and they're like used to coming to church. Again, maybe in t-shirts
or
and
a
things.
Ball cap.
Yeah. Right. And they come in and they go, oh man, okay, cool. These guys look nice. Like they're looking sharp.
You can kind of see the way the men carry themselves too.
Yeah.
And there's a gravitas about, Ethan pulls this off really well.
Effortlessly.
You just like the gravitas of like dressing nice, carrying yourself well, sort of like be a man, but not, to Kevin's point, also not in the way I think a lot of people like they could listen to Hard Men podcasts from the old days, and they would come to the church and it was like a chest pounding bravado like day one, and then we're all like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like that's not what this is.
Yeah, that's not dignified.
No.
Yeah, I like and we've actually used this as a pastoral tool in counseling. I know that I'm sure you have too. Where like you want the external to reflect the internal, right? Yeah. So how do you order your household? I've already said it. It's by ordering yourself first. And that's going to manifest in carrying yourself in a certain way that is considerate to others, where you're a pleasure to be around, and that includes aesthetically. You're not tempting someone to sin, immodesty for women especially. You're also not like making everyone uncomfortable by being radically under or overdressed. You dress as fits the occasion. And that can be a very good indication that you are humble in your heart and you're seeking virtue internally. But it's also that pastoral tool where if that internal humility and pursuit of virtue isn't there in some area, then we'll sometimes say like, oh, you're wearing the head covering, but it means nothing.
Yeah.
Like, what is that to you? It's actually heaping up condemnation on yourself.
Yeah.
That you would have the gall to wear a head covering and then go and speak that way to your husband.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is absurd. And it's a helpful way to help everyone, including myself, see with these tangible object lessons that it actually has to be a reflection of sincerity. Mm-hmm. Because if it's not, it's going to be picked out right away, and it's going to be worse than if you had just dressed like a slob.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the other things, Kevin, we talk a lot about it, about hospitality and fellowship.
Yeah.
I had to laugh this week because every single event that I was at, we'd be like an hour past the time frame where we're supposed to be at a place, like all of us, and they have to literally close the building down. And everybody was like, look, I know you all love each other and want to keep talking. You've seen each other for 5 days in a row. Like, you have to leave. Like, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Yeah.
But I've been in churches where it's like people actually don't like each other. Mm-hmm. There's not genuine friendships. But I think we work really hard on the one anothering locally. Yeah. And yeah, just hearing that was encouraging from outsiders. Like, wow, like this is not how most of the church in America is functioning. Mm-hmm. So why so important on that? Again, I know you talk a lot about it, one anothering, hospitality, cultivating genuine friendship. But why is it so important for a community culture to be that way?
Yeah. Because it is the body of Christ. Like that's just what it does. So do you want to obey the Lord? Well, then it looks like you're going to have to be hospitable to one another. You're going to have to serve one another, pray for one another, love one another, admonish one another. And on that point, I think that's one where we've really pressed hard into as a community is the admonishment part. You know, it got brought up a lot, especially in our pastoral conversations, but even conversations. I was talking with some of our people that were kind of giving some counsel to some of the participants, and you can just see that they're just not used to someone just telling them the truth, you know, and being willing to confront a sin that they're seeing. And that's a huge focus here. And I think
people are used to doing that.
They're used to doing that, actually exercising the muscle that is so atrophied in the church today. But it is absolutely required if you are going to have friendship, is you have to be able to have honest conversations with one another so that you know who you are and you know who the other person is and you're seeing each other rightly.
Yeah. Even, I was laughing. I think the other night at church, we were praising our people for the good job that they did. But my security guy, Tony, our guy, Tony, our guy.
Big dog Tony.
This was my favorite part.
The tone zone.
He's just used to being a part of the body in that way.
Yeah.
And so he's standing behind me. You got young guys asking like, hey, I'm really young. I want to be a pastor. Should I do this? I give counsel and advice. Build your career, build your family. You don't have kids yet. Focus on your household through most of your 20s. Like an elder is an older man. We go through the whole thing. Like you need to be patient and wait. Find godly men to mentor you through that season, whatever. And, some of the guys, there were multiple of these conversations, so it wasn't just one. One of the guys was like, yeah, but I just, and he started and it was so funny because Tony goes, young man, an older, godly, wiser man is giving you counsel. I would really encourage you not to argue with him, but to receive it well and to think and pray about it. And I was like, now, what was so funny to me is like, it also wasn't shocking because we do this all the time.
Yeah.
Like that's just the culture that we're trying to build. Even to the point, Ben, where if somebody in our church comes to us and they say, hey, this guy sinned against me or we got in a tiff, we will say to them, have you talked to them?
Yeah.
Matthew 18. And they're like, well, no, sometimes. Well, no. And you're like, okay, let me coach you through this. So actually, I'm not going to step in at this point. I'm going to coach you on how to go have this conversation. And especially if people are doing this for the first time, there's like I'm going to do what? But then once you've done it a time or two, you realize like, oh, this is like, again, establishing a new normal of just have a frank and friendly conversation.
Yeah. It's so funny when someone's never done it before and you're like, okay, you have to go do this. And here's what you need to say. You need to make sure you get everything out, right? And actually address the issue. Don't tiptoe around it. Suddenly people become much more willing to cover offenses.
Well, I'm not sure it was rising to that level.
You know what? I think I can get over it. But then it's like, no. You've made your bed. Now you told me this bothered you.
Yeah.
This is good for you to go and do this.
Yes.
I do this to you all the time. Go and do it for somebody else. It's an act of love.
Yeah.
And you should actually, like maybe they need that more than anything else today from their brother who they slighted or offended or whatever. Like maybe they need it from you.
Yes.
And it's an opportunity to, again, be called up to greater degrees of righteousness. And yeah, genuinely, it's like you do it once. It's like jumping in the pool for the first time. You do it once and you're like, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
People like to make peace.
Yeah.
Like if they're a Christian, they desire peace.
Yes.
And that will mean that like you're probably not going to get into a knockout, drag out fight. They're probably just going to be willing to hear you out at least.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be pushback, but you both want the same thing. So that means it's never going to be as bad as you think in your head.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point. We talked about Pastor Adam. He's got the book. He also did a talk, which I found hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Really good. Convicting, too.
Yeah, it was really good. A lot of practical things about household to think through. I've never heard a person more like hilariously and helpfully use Southern metaphors. Like we were laughing about the one where he said, that guy's more lost than an Easter egg. And I like couldn't keep a straight face. I'm just like dying of laughter through the whole thing. I would just encourage people. We'll have the talks up. I think probably by the time this is out, we'll have these talks up. You have to check out Pastor Adams. Like it was just, when you're talking about an engine of a home and you're referencing a 1990s square body Chevy pickup and a 350 engine, like I'm sold.
Everybody's listening.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in. And it's funny because I was thinking about this in effective preaching. He's been a preacher for many years. I was like, because of all the analogies and the funny metaphors, I remember a bulk of the talk because I actually remember square body Chevys. Oh yeah. That's like, a wife is such an integral part of the household. And I remember what he was talking about. Just your thoughts on that, the talk. I know we talked about the book already. There's a pastoral warmth, I think, about Adam that I really enjoy. Yeah. And it comes out in his kids and his family, his wife. Maybe one more case for just like, I would hope that a family like that would become the new normal for many churches.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
My favorite part, Eric, about Adam's talk, you know what I'm going to say.
I think so.
You know what I'm saying. He's talking about these two new grandbabies, and we got a boy, we got a girl. And Benjamin, your son, has the girl. She is gorgeous. Oh, she is so cute.
She genuinely a cute new boy.
Oh man, yeah.
Especially when you get photos like every day of her smiling.
But it turned into an obituary.
It did.
It did. And he said, I hate to break it to you all, but the hard man, Eric Kahn, is no more. No more. And it's so true.
He said in there, he was like, yeah, it used to be that my text with Eric, we're talking about feminism and William Gouge and all this stuff. And now it's just baby pictures and heart emojis.
There's been times where I've looked over at Eric and he's just like snickering as he's looking at his phone. And normally it's because like he typed up some tweet that he's really happy with. But then you'll go look over his shoulder and he's just looking at his background, which is a picture of his granddaughter.
My son was giving me a hard time because he said, Dad, you have like 27 saved backgrounds. Every time I send you a photo, it's a new background. I was like, well, yeah, you get a new background every day. You get to see it, one's a smile, one's a giggle.
You can't be mad at a guy for getting a little emotion. Some of that granddaughter emotion. Oh, come on.
It is funny, actually. We were talking about this perception versus reality when people come to Ogden. I get this a lot. And actually, it happened with Ben when I first moved here. I don't know if you remember this. We had you guys over to our house that we were renting at the time.
I do remember this.
But I've heard this conversation like repeated many, many times over the years. And Ben, like at the end of the night, Ben was like, yeah, thanks for having us over. And he was like, I'm kind of shocked. You're just like a normal dude.
Yeah.
Like I thought you were going to be some weird autist because you're on Twitter and
Hardman Podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. You meet a guy, he's just a guy.
He's just a guy.
Like in a good way.
Yeah.
He's just a guy. You can talk to him.
Yeah. I think that's sort of one thing I would say about overall the pastoral team. Maybe one of the things that I was proudest about is just seeing all the pastoring that was happening there. They're great men. And I include you guys in that. Great men, but also like nobody there's like, we're not like celebrities who don't like have a conversation like a normal person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, I was like 20. That's a kid, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Seems that way.
Going to these mega conferences where there was like, 10,000 people and people would stand in line to shake whatever celebrity evangelical preacher's hand, And like in the line, people were like, oh, I can't believe I'm dead. And then you talk to them and like the interactions were just so awkward, And I look at that and I was like, no, like it was cool. We were able to have this conference where it's like, we're all just people.
Yeah.
But what we're hoping, this would be like maybe my main hope from the conference, somehow that we're able to help others export. They'll do it in their own way, right? They'll have their own cultures. It'll be unique to them and their people in place. But just to export some of the refuge culture, how we do worship, that other places would pick up on that, especially with pastoral care, one anothering, those sorts of things. I'm sure you guys agree.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think,
yeah.
Like the refuge camaraderie is really special.
Oh yeah.
And it's very unique. But I think one of the things we're trying to tell people is that it doesn't have to be. It can be ubiquitous if you just plant yourself in a place that's a good place, good people, and you just insist on maybe even being the one who takes the first step in cultivating a sense of friendship and camaraderie that is real. That is magnetic, and it attracts the right kind of people. And it attracts like-mindedness, which is, one of the fundamental building blocks of friendship is like-mindedness. And so, yeah, it's like we have that. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Like I like this better than anything else, But it's also, I want people to have their version of it, and I want them to know that they just can. Like you can just make friends. You can just do that. And sure, it may take time and certainly takes effort. It still takes effort for us to be good friends, but it is doable, and it's well worth all of the work that goes into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Kevin, maybe one of the last things that we'll talk about was really cool to me. We had a pastor's breakfast, 60, 70 pastors from around the country. One of the things that kind of shocks me, whatever the perception of Ogden online, and particularly what people say about us. We had PCA guys. We had Bible Church, non-denom guys. We had guys
SBC.
from SBC. We had guys from Mark Driscoll Orbit. Like we had guys from everywhere.
Yep.
Which is kind of surprising. Like you might think like, oh, we're just reaching like a very specific Reformed niche. But I think there were just a lot of pastors who were like, no, like we see a lot of the cool things happening. We want to learn what you guys are doing. We learned a lot from them too. There's a lot of great stuff at a lot of great places. Just curious your thoughts on that. Just the perception of like coming out of the conference of like, wow, there's just so many varied people here that are interested in these sorts of things. That seems like a cool thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. One of the things that several pastors, and this has happened, we did it last year as well. And the pastor's breakfast, we get into favorite things, and it's like, I think I have my favorite thing, and then I remember, but the pastor's breakfast. It was a blast. The guys are incredible. And the thing is, you just, when you sit down and you're willing to just say, hey, I just want to get to know you.
Yeah.
And you find that you have so much in common. I mean, almost everything in common. And the pastors especially, like to see the hearts of those guys, it's so encouraging. And so many of the conversations were like, how can we do a better job of pastoring? How should we think about counseling?
People ask a lot about the Leadership Guild.
Yes.
They ask about the school. They ask about how we manage parish load, because we've got, effectively like 6 guys who are, running, how many, if you count just member families, it's not just that
It's
you
like
end up
150
families.
just member families.
Yeah. So then like people are asking like, how do you manage that load? Like you guys are really intensive on pastoral care. Like how can you afford to be that involved in people's lives? Like people really want to know those things.
Yeah. And we had, again, just great conversations with those guys. So cool to see. I said it before, I'll say it again, like how much we have in common. And there's just so many good men out there. But also you just see, I'm sure you guys each had these conversations of these pastors who are just so tired. Like they're really tired. And I think they're tired of fighting against so many of them, their denominations.
They're fighting their denomination for having even mildly right-wing views. And I'm talking like barely center right. Yeah. They get in trouble for that. I think they're dealing with feminism writ large in a lot of churches. They don't know how to deal with that. I don't know what other issues.
I talked to a few guys that like they had a good relationship with the session.
Yeah.
And they're like the senior minister, and they're really like, I want to cultivate a good level of trust and friendship with these guys. And I really do respect them. But there's this like poison gas cloud of, but if you go here, we're going to have a big problem.
Yeah. Well, this is the wild thing to me is a lot of people are going to be aware of like various forms of like denominational online feuds relating to Ogden. But then like we have these guys here, CRAC, PCA, like you name it, they're all here. And we're talking to them and they legitimately are concerned about this. But they're like, but we're also like, this is one of the few places we're actually getting help on these issues and like how to deal with them. And we're sort of like under the gun. We had people from Reformed denominations who were like, it leaks during the conference that like their pastor is like attacking them sort of on social media in Presbytery meetings. So like there's a hostility and a contention going on where these people are like, what do I do?
Yeah. And I think a lot of like some of it too, to your point about just the fatigue, some of it is not even about cultural issues. Some of it's like, I want to institute psalm singing in my church.
Oh, it's like really
I would say that's the majority of it.
But if like that was more what I was encountering. But I just figured, maybe it's just, I'm not like the King's Hall guy, so maybe. But a lot of the guys were like, yeah, I really want to get into psalm singing, but my session is just like fighting me tooth and nail on it. I'm like, really? And so you walk through like, it's okay to take time. It's okay to try to introduce it steadily in ways that is more palatable to their background and what they came from. But at the end of the day, it was, it made me want to make sure that guy left feeling encouraged. Like, hey, you feel like you're alone. Your session is not have your back. The women and the men in the church don't have your back. You're trying to just do your job and you feel like everyone's fighting against you and you're kicking against the goads. Well, here's one thing. You're not alone. We have your back. I will pray for you. But here's even more importantly, like the Lord is with you.
Yeah.
Seek to do the work with faith and zeal. Like ask him for the strength and watch what he does. And it may be after you die, you finally get to start to, from the great cloud of witnesses, see the fruit of your efforts. But great. Like that means that you're doing work that the Lord is not unhappy with, and he's not gonna fail to vindicate you or bear fruit with the works done in faith. So you're not alone. Like you have the Spirit, you have Christ with you. And it's easy for me to say because I'm here and we got a great team, but genuinely, that has to be the attitude that a pastor has. If the whole world is against me, like, so be it.
It was interesting. One of the, I heard this from a number of guys, but one of the biggest pushbacks they're getting, like not even the cultural or political stuff, it was simply, I'm coming to this conviction that we have way too many programs at our church. And we need to have more time to just be with one another and actually serve and do things together, like for one another. More time for hospitality, psalm sing. They're interested in these kinds of things. But when we tried to cancel the Wednesday night Bible study, you would have thought that someone died. I mean, you were killing a sacred cow or whatever. There was just so many programs that were like, well, what if we just cut here? I mean, it's not a big deal. Oh no.
Yeah. I actually remember one church I was pastoring at, and we got rid of like Sunday school. It was more like children's church kind of thing, but we got rid of it. And I figured it wouldn't be a thing because like 2 people went to it out of the whole church. But people who didn't even send their kids to it, like, revolted.
Yeah.
And I was like, but why? You don't even go to it. But I think that's just how people have come to think about how the church should function.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the same people, I was like, I remember saying, I don't know if it was the wisest thing at the time, but I said, I will continue teaching the Sunday school if you will commit to leading your family in family worship at least 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And I had elders in the church say, no, I refuse. And I was like, well,
that I think is like the crux of the issue. I think it was Brian that talked about this in his talk, but maybe it was Stephen in the panel that he did, where you can talk about things online or you can see other people doing things and it gives you a sense of action.
Yes.
Like it scratches the itch of you thinking that you accomplished anything at all when you've done literally nothing. Having those church programs gives people the comfort of thinking, yes, I am doing this. The royal I.
It's kind of like a golf scramble when you contribute nothing to your team and you're like, we did it.
We did it as a team.
As a
and
team.
so you have
Eric, stop talking about me.
I don't know.
So you have like the weekly women's afternoon tea and gossip party, and then the next week someone has a baby, and it's like 50 women go to the tea party, and then the next week someone has a baby. Hey, who can provide meals for that family? And it's just crickets.
Yeah.
They want the church to do the work of the ministry. They don't want the church to do its job, which is to equip them for the work of the ministry, so that they actually have to pour themselves out in ways that are frequently uncomfortable and inconvenient for the good of the people around them. But like, that's the Christian life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the more we talk about this, I sort of think like one of the normals we're trying to reestablish is a normal kind of historic church. Mm-hmm. So things like family worship being a regular practice, fathers taking the lead in catechism for their own children, again, Deuteronomy 6, that sort of thing. I think psalm singing would certainly be included in that. Corporate singing in general, that the liturgy is the work of the people.
Yep.
I think the Lord's service and the way that's ordered is probably in there. I would even say like practical, expositional, yes, but practical, helpful sermons that actually deal with real issues in life. We've had a lot of sermons recently. You guys have preached some of them where it's like, I actually got this from James Jordan where he's like, a lot of sermons really should be like a word with the family. And he actually advocated, he was like, there's a lot of, like most of his sermons, I think he didn't record them because he's like, no, it's like a family meeting. Yeah. So you can actually address things like, if you start thinking about like, I'm preaching to the nation, well, then you start preaching differently, So those are some of them. We talked about hospitality. I think realistically, the school, Christian education, it's really like we're trying to establish that normal and then say like, here, you can actually learn a lot of these things and start putting them in practice in your own church communities. It is interesting though, as we have those conversations, it always reminds me, I forgot how weird so much of the church is.
Yeah.
Like people are still fighting like family integration and worship.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot people do that. We've traveled and we've gone to churches and they're like, children's church over here. And my kids are like, what the heck is children's church? Like, this is an abomination, but they don't even really remember an existence like that. Your kids will probably think the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm so glad for it. It is strange to think that those are battles that are like still being fought by people.
Yeah.
It makes you really grateful to be where you're at. And it also, I think it inspires sympathy and pity for those who are seeking to do really well, but are just in the midst of, frankly, like a tired and lazy old guard who actually has no interest in glorifying the Lord, but just wants to make their life as convenient as possible.
And we talked and gave a lot of counsel to people on that point, actually, that are in the position where they are under the kind of this lazy old guard, doing things the way we've always done it, right? And they're interested in integrated family worship. And so they're like, well, what do we do? They're not listening to us. And I was like, well, here's something like, why don't you just joyfully go and do those things? Just continue, like bring your kids in, show them what it looks like to have well-disciplined children that are worshiping with you and singing and participating and hey, invite people over to your house, do hospitality and just include them in family worship. And do it again with great joy. Make it appealing. And I'm telling you, like, that the fruit is the thing that is the most alluring. Like it really is. It's the thing that you look at and you go, man, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Right. Rather than the arguments.
Well, I think too, one of the big pieces of counsel that we end up giving seemingly every conference, because like a lot of young guys and young families will ask, hey, I'm not in leadership. I'm 22 or 25 or whatever it is. Or maybe they're 35, but they're still not in leadership, don't want to be. And they will say something like, how do I fundamentally push against the pastors and change their direction and change the vision of the church so that we turn it into a Christian borough like Ogden? And it's like Brian has been really good about hammering this point. And the short answer is you don't. Actually, God in that church hasn't called you to do that.
Yeah.
And I think more like, because you end up usurping, causing division, you become a problem for the pastors, there becomes authority and respect issues there. But so much what we're telling them is like, you need to find a leadership that actually aligns with what you want, how you want to raise your family in the church. Like that would be a better starting point than trying to cause division. And the guys that I've talked to across the years, I know you have too as well, both of you, that go about saying like, well, I'm going to build this like kind of little faction group in the church, and we're just going to start trying to like get people into the stuff that we're into. I would say almost every single time it ends poorly.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, think of a husband and a wife. What do we tell a wife when she's like, I'm having a really hard time submitting to my husband? You say, well, submit to your husband. Yeah, but he's not acting perfect. He's dropping the ball in some ways. Like, don't you understand? Yeah. 1 Peter 3. Submit, like, be quiet and do as he says, so long as he's not telling you to sin.
It's almost like they read that verse, like, submit to your husband in all things. And then there's like an ellipses, and it's like when you feel like
it. Yeah, like the parenthetical when you want to submit to your husband. But it's the same for the pastor. Like, okay, maybe you are in a church where the pastor is genuinely failing in his duties to preach the word sincerely and effectively and applicably. Okay, and we'll say, yeah, okay, that could be a real sin problem. What's going to fix that? Your sin too? In not submitting to your elders and in disrespecting the office that God has put in there and in sowing discord, something that God really hates in his body? No is the easy answer. It's not going to fix it.
And in that case, you're usually fully within rights to discuss your disagreements and then find a church where it aligns better with what you believe. So for example, if you have a dispy pastor, the number of times I heard, hey, my pastor's a dispy, like how do I convert him to postmillennialism? And I'm like, ooh, you find a post-millennial pastor is what you do. And a lot of people too, I keep saying this is like I would tell my wife, this is the old pastor trick. Just one more thing. You were preaching. Just one more thing. But this kind of issue of, it comes up every year, moving, relocation. Yes, you need to think through this very carefully. You need to weigh these decisions. But I talk to so many people where they're like, okay, I live in an area in the middle of nowhere. There are no good churches and no good spouses. I have, 4 boys who are 18 to 24. What do I do? And they're saying, what do I do without moving? And I'm like, well, I think you move.
Yeah.
I think, it's one of those, I tell people this often. It's like our fathers sailed across oceans to make a better future for their people. You might actually just have to make a hard decision, because I've been in those positions. My boys were getting older and I said, hey, there's nothing here. We've got to make some really hard life decisions. And Abraham sent servant to, go find a wife. Like sometimes radical steps have to be taken, but it seems like, Kevin, remaining in a bad situation where you can't look at the elders or their wives and say like, I want my sons and daughters to be like them, or my wife. More than likely, you're not going to fix that. You just need to figure out somewhere else to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a really tough pill to swallow, because some people just, they have a good job. They have they have some good people around them, but the leadership of the church is just really bad. Maybe the church doesn't have a lot of kids. It's fairly small, nice people, but yeah, there's no options for any of their kids to date. There's no options for any of their kids even to have older men to look up to, or for the girls, like to have good, godly women to be in their home and learning from. And there are so many times where it's not always the answer, but for a lot of guys, it is like, man, you're actually going to have to lose something. This is going to cost you. You're not going to be able to just pick up the things you have right now and move them over here. You're going to have to move, and it's going to come at a great cost. But that cost is worth it, because you have to think far beyond just yourself and your own personal discomfort right now, and you have to be thinking about your children.
I feel like it's actually a prototypical story in the Old Testament that like God's people should learn from. It should be like part of how we think about the world. God called his son Israel to leave Egypt and to go into the wilderness and to travel and endure hardship so that they could enter the promised land. The other thing I would say to people is there's sort of this like mentality. I think I had it. So, I'll at least speak for myself, where it's like, if the Lord's leading us in that direction, it'll be easy.
Yeah.
That's like not how life works.
Yeah.
No, you should expect like there's going to be a series of tests. It's going to be really hard. Your tests or your faith will be tested. There's going to be trials ahead of you. But Ben, something Brian always says, like, but you have to believe the Lord is on your side. He's good.
Yeah, it's James 1. The Christian in a fallen world where we have to be sanctified, we ought to accept and also invite the trials, not like impose them on ourselves, but invite them when they come.
Yeah.
Because what? You consider it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, because the testing of your faith produces steadfastness, and let steadfastness have its full effect, making you perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. So it's like, you want this bright, shiny thing. Well, guess what it takes to get there? Death. And your whole life is one big death. So yeah, it's like as we go through stages in our life where we're seeking something really good, that's where we should actually expect to see some of the greatest resistance in terms of the world, the flesh, and the devil. But we have to remember that God is working those things, providentially ordered them, but also is actively working those things for your good. If you don't believe that, you will fail.
Yeah, I think it was even an old Jordan Peterson, but he was like, anything good worth having, whether it's virtue or a good family, anything good worth having is worth suffering for. And you will suffer for it.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be hard work and you're going to have to work, I mean, even maybe way harder than you ever thought to actually reach that destination. Gentlemen, it's been great talking about the conference. Still super stoked, Ben. Congrats on the book.
Hey, thanks. Thank you.
I mean, I know a lot of hard work went into it from both of you guys. Man, sick cover too.
Yeah,
I mean,
really cool cover. Either the title maybe could have been a little bit better.
The title's not ultimately what I wished.
Yeah, but it's all right. It's still really good.
It's good.
No, hey, pick it up today. Like I said, it's a great I really do believe it's a great resource. It's the book that I wish someone had given me when I was in my early teens, genuinely.
I would even say too, like, so I have boys, but for fathers who are mentoring teenagers of both sexes, this would be a great book, particularly in our age, to give them as a resource and tool. Like, hey, we need to regularly be thinking about this issue. Really good discipleship tool.
Yeah, and a lot of it, like thanks to Kev, I try to not spend time in an ideal world that doesn't exist, and instead speak to the actual issues that you're actually going to face in 2020, well, in the 2020s and 21st century. So I really do think it's a good resource for people, and I would encourage you to check it out. Again, if you are someone that you care about struggles with this sin, I think that it will bless them.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys both. Want to thank our Patreon supporters. Really couldn't do this show or any of our shows without the Patreon support. So thank you guys. Thank you to all who came to the conference. Again, couldn't do it without them. Wonderful people. We thank you guys. We'll catch you in the next episode.